Welcome back. Now, the defense in the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial has indicated that it will bring an application for the charges against the accused to be dropped. Now, this after the state rested its case in the High Court in Pretoria 3 years after it started leading evidence. Now, the trial had to start afresh in 2023 after the then presiding Judge Tshifhiwa Maumela recused himself due to ill health. The prosecution contends that the 5 men who've been standing trial were not involved in the killing, or rather they were involved in the killing of the soccer star in 2014, and that his then girlfriend Kelly Khumalo ordered the hit. Now, to discuss this matter further, we're joined virtually now by AfriForum Private Prosecution Unit Head, Advocate Gerrie Nel. Advocate Nel, good to see you again. Welcome to Morning Live.
Good morning, Sakina. Thank you for having me this morning.
So it's been a while, and this particular trial, you know, we've spoken about on and off over the years. But looking at where we are right now, what is your overall assessment of the state's case now that all their witnesses have testified?
Let me first start off by saying, I represent the family, and it's been a long and treacherous journey for the family that brought us to this milestone, Sakina. But there are still many miles to go. This is only the state's case been closed. And as you said, there will in all probability be an application in terms of Section 174 of the Criminal Procedure Act. And I'm going to be a bit technical, Sakina, but I think it's important for people to realize that in this application where the defense would argue that there's no evidence before court that will make a conviction possible, and they then entitled to a discharge. I just want to now, and people will obviously follow this, and we boring people, and for me it's very interesting, this kind of argument. But the test is, and it was set out in court, and it's technical, but I want to share it. And it's that the court said, if in the opinion of the trial court there's evidence upon which the accused might reasonably be convicted, it's the duty straightforward. The accused may not be discharged and the trial must continue to its end. So Section 174, there were argument to say that there's no evidence that the accused committed the offence, and then the court may return a verdict of not guilty. So there are many more miles to go. But Sakina, let me abuse this situation by just expressing on behalf of the family and myself our appreciation for Advocate George Beloy and Brigadier Ganida and his team for their dedication and perseverance through this trial that brought us here. Sakina, you asked me about the merits of the state's case. It will be irresponsible for me to go into the merits, but what I want to say is that I think that the state presented sufficient strong enough case. They did what they could, and I hope that the trial will then soon end, that there will be more evidence, and that the state will also get the opportunity to cross-examine the accused.
And appreciating that you loathe to really get into the merits of the case, do you believe, Advocate Nel, that there were any critical witnesses or perhaps pieces of evidence that the state perhaps should have brought but did not?
Sakina, I don't want to be rude, but I really cannot deal with the merits of the case. But I think what we should perhaps do, Sakina, is just to think back on our previous interviews. Remember, then the questions were, do we have the right accused? Is this a robbery that went wrong? Is this an assassination? And I think by following the state's case, we answered those questions, which is a huge issue that those questions were answered. And I think people look at the case and the state's case differently now at the end of the state's case. So it's very difficult to, and it will be irresponsible for me to deal with the merits of the matter. I think at the end of the case, Sakina, we can really talk about the case, how it was done and how it was presented. But I think you mentioned it, this trial was beset with the most the possibility of delay that you can think of. And I mean, you mentioned that we had to start afresh, but just think back, we had an advocate arrested in court. We had the altercation between the accused and the prison warders. We had the replacement of counsel. So there were lots and lots of delays. So I really hope that going forward, that there'll be argument, there'll be judgment, and that we could finalize the trial soon.
And I know we're going to wrestle around this, but when we spoke previously, one of the questions that I asked you was whether you believed the right people were in the dock, which is what you've just made mention of right now. But do you still believe that there is someone or other people that should be in the dock who are not?
I haven't changed my mind on that. I haven't changed my mind, and I'm more confident than ever that there'll be more support for me and for the views we expressed before we started. Anybody that followed the trial and followed the trial diligently, I think, might agree with me. But as I said from the start, Sakina, the state decided to prosecute these people, and you asked me a question over and over again, as you should, that do we think we have the right people there? And I said yes. I haven't changed my mind. That's still my view on both questions, that we have the correct people before court, and I would have wanted other people to be charged as well.
And the defense is now expected to present its case, and the defense has indicated that they may want to call some of the people. Of course, they're going to try and get the charges to be dropped, but failing which, they obviously at some point during this trial have indicated that they may want to call on some of the people who were in the house on that fateful night. So, you know, what are the key elements overall that you will be looking out for as the defense presents its arguments?
Well, Sakina, first, I think this will give us a huge and a great opportunity to understand how the defense look at their case and how the state look at their case. You know, the defense will bring the application, the state will have to respond. We will then, at the end of those arguments, have a very good idea of the defense case, where they want to go, and the state's case, where they want to go. It might be so. Remember, Sakina, even in this trial, there was an extra docket presented. You know, that's very relevant to the question you're asking now. Extra docket presented that indicated a whole different set of facts. I still believe that the facts that the state decided to prove and the case that they presented is the case that is relevant, and I think it's a strong enough case, Sakina.
And as AfriForum, you know, you've been vocal about seeking justice for the Meyiwa family. Now, given what's been presented so far, do you believe that justice is within reach for this family, Advocate Nel, given how long it's taken to even just get to this point where we are at right now?
Yes, again, I'm going to answer that question, but I think we should set out a timeline. The murder happened in October 2014. Remember, the family consulted with us in 2019 saying nothing's happened. And I have to take it back. Remember, during that time, the Commissioner of Police said there'll be arrest soon. Even the Minister of Police promised that arrest before Christmas, and it never happened. We then got involved. The investigating team was changed, and that led to arrest in 2020. Trial started in 2022. So to answer your question, I think there's light at the end of the tunnel. I do think that in our consultation with the family, although they share my views as far as some more people should have been prosecuted, I do think that we're satisfied that we might have justice soon. It's been a long journey, Sakina. It's a long journey. It's very difficult to get closure. You know, when we started in 2022, we thought, at long last, it took us 6 years to get there, it took us 7 years to get there, but we'll now get justice. It's 3 years ago, and we might have more years to come. It's very difficult for the family, Sakina, to follow this, to understand this, not understand why it takes so long for them to get justice. But I'm sure, I'm very confident that the first milestone we've reached, and that we'll have justice soon.
Well, Advocate Gerrie Nel, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for your time this morning. And thanks for speaking to us, the technicalities notwithstanding, given your position, you know, as you say, representing the family. We certainly do appreciate it. And that was Advocate Gerrie Nel, AfriForum Private Prosecution Unit Head, reacting to the state concluding its case in the High Court in Pretoria. And of course, this matter ongoing. Stay tuned to SABC News for more on this.